Ronnie's going to be sitting here with us this morning sharing his story. If you're here at Northlake, you already know Ronnie. He's such a phenomenal guy, and he has been an inspiration for us here at Northlake. Started in our personal training program with Sarah, and has moved on to our Element program, and then does a crossover with CrossFit with me at 9:30 on Fridays. But he's going to share his story for those of you who don't know his story, and it just really just kind of goes together with what we've been learning this week with being able to overcome obstacles and reasons of why we can't come into a CrossFit gym and work out. Right? At this point, most gyms are going to have different programs, and I would still say check them all out. We're all different. But Ronnie's just going to share his experience. And one of the things after sitting down and talking with Ronnie that I didn't realize is his story on what triggered him to come and see us. And you'll hear him talk about being in a grocery store and reaching down to the bottom shelf and having to squat to get something off the bottom shelf and can't stand up. What's up, guys? Sitting here with a good friend of mine and the member that has been an inspiration to us all, Ronnie. Just to give you a little bit of background on Ronnie, Ronnie started with our personal training program with Sarah, and you'll see some transformation pictures from him as we go through this video. I think they're phenomenal, but I really wanted to sit down with him and talk about his story. As you guys have been following us this week on Monday, if you haven't seen it, go back to our IGTV and look at our video from Monday where I sat down with Shadia, one of our coaches in personal and a physical therapist here, and Stephanie, and we talked about how Stephanie trains through pain, and because of Shadia's help, actually able to alleviate some of that pain and continue to do great things and set her own personal goals here at CrossFit Northlake. And then on Wednesday, I sat down with Zach, who's a chiropractor and good friend of ours, also a member, and we talked about how Zach is able to incorporate what he has and his knowledge to help our members as well from a chiropractic standpoint, also from a recovery standpoint. And today we have Ronnie. Again, like I mentioned, Ronnie started with our personal training program with Sarah and has now moved on to our Element program, which is our version of boot camp. We believe that CrossFit has done a phenomenal job at setting an example what functional movement should be, and so through that we created our Element program, and basically behind that program we believe there are X amount of elemental functional movements that we should learn for everyday life. But now Ronnie is involved in that program, and then Ronnie kind of blends the lines a little bit on Friday and steps over and coaches and does our CrossFit program on Friday when I coach at 9:30. So he's going to tell you a little bit about his story and his journey through pain. And Ronnie, if you don't mind me asking, how old are you?
65.
65, going on 21. So there you go. So I'll just let Ronnie take the floor, man. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Ronnie.
Well, first of all, Jason, thank you very much for the opportunity to talk with you about this.
Yeah.
The first thing that comes to mind is what brought me here, and as we were chatting just before we got started, I was thinking back to when I was shopping in the grocery store. This was about 15 months ago, and squatted down while shopping to get a jar of food product off of the shelf, and I couldn't stand up. And luckily there was a pole, support pole in the store that I had to hold on to just to be able to stand up. Shortly after that, I found your website, responded to a link, and said that I'm, at that time, 63. I'm a 63-year-old male, weighed 306 pounds. I'm overweight, out of shape. Is CrossFit for me? And y'all responded back, absolutely, and that's how we got started here.
Cool. So after starting, after coming in for your initial evaluation, I guess we decided you need to work with Sarah. Tell us a little bit about that experience. Tell us a little bit about, again, some of the things that you went through with Sarah, and what did y'all work on?
Sarah is amazing. Worked with her 3 times a week for, again, about, I guess, 12 12 months, 13 months before I transitioned to the boot camp group. But she established a macronutrient diet for me, which I've followed pretty meticulously. And in that time, I've lost 116 pounds.
Wow.
And it has been a program whereby she monitors me weekly. I complete a spreadsheet of information, what I've done for the week. I send that back to her, and she evaluates it and responds if necessary with follow-up.
Yeah. So elements, fast forward a little bit into elements, right? So you did personal training with Sarah for X amount of time. How long, by the way?
13 months.
So 13 months of personal training with Sarah, and then make a transition over to elements. Tell us a little bit about that program.
It's been a lot of fun being part of a group, and a group can be 2 or 3 people, or it can be 5 or 7 people. It just depends on how many folks are showing up that day, and of course, the CrossFit groups can be much larger than that. But the opportunity to participate with the groups, one thing that's been interesting is that the personal aspect of a particular individual's needs are still responded to. For example, I have some shoulder issues, some thigh and leg issues, and lower back. None of this is major, but it has occurred from time to time. Age might have a little bit to do with it, you think?
Yeah.
But Sarah, and even when I work out with you in the CrossFit groups, you're able to modify what I'm doing so that it works for me. And I can't tell you the tremendous benefit that has been.
And I do think that's something to talk about a little bit. I mean, obviously we started as a CrossFit gym, and as I went through my certificational classes, the one thing they always keep coming back to is that this could be modified for everybody. And I think in 2019, with all the other fitness regimes, people lose that piece about CrossFit, is that your coaches are really, 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 really knowledgeable in what they're doing. And honestly, if I don't know, I'll go ask somebody. I don't have to be the smartest person in the room. I just got to know some smart people. It's always my motto. And so we'll be able to modify that particular movement to whatever you can do in order to get you to achieve that goal. And I like that piece. So you talked a bit about shoulder issues and leg and hip issues and things like that. Tell me a little bit about what you do to kind of get yourself ready to work out, before and after workouts, things like that.
I work about, let's say, 15 to 20 minutes before and after a workout session, just to get ready to be able to move functionally and not do damage once I get started. Dr. Price, chiropractor, has showed me I think they're Eldoa stretches that I do before the workout, and then I do some work with bands, stretching and moving various shoulder body parts.
Yeah.
Something as minor as a rubber ball, hard rubber ball on the wall.
Yeah,
and
just kind of get the
rotating
rib muscles and joints ready to move. Yeah.
And these are things that I've learned from the physical therapist, and in conjunction with Sarah, things that she's done, and even my work with Morgan as far as massage therapy, all this done under one roof still amazes me. All the resources available of individuals that they're here as workout participants, but they help you as friends to share the knowledge and their experience.
Yeah, for sure. So he mentioned working with Dr. Price. Make sure you go back and look at our Wednesday video. Dr. Price and I have a conversation around recovery. Who we haven't introduced you guys yet to, and he mentioned Morgan, who has been phenomenal for our membership here. Morgan's been a member for a long time, who's also a massage therapist, and so she makes sure that she takes care of our members here when they call her. So again, all under one roof. I mean, there's just a phenomenal place to have as a resource between Shadi and Dr. Price, Morgan. We have several other physical therapists that are in the membership, and what was really cool is that I'll watch these guys. There's such a wealth of knowledge. It just kind of seeps out of them. They could be warming up with someone and someone asks a question and they stop warming up and they work on them because they can't help but do that. And it's not that we're taking advantage of those people, it's that they just care and they love what they do so much that, again, it just seeps out of them. They can't help but to try to figure this stuff out. So I think that's a really, really good, cool community that we have and relationship that we have with some of our members who have these special trades. So again, wanted you guys to kind of experience the entire continuum of working with a physical therapist, whether that be Shadi, and working with Zach, chiropractor, and now, introducing you guys to Ronnie. And I always say we can lead a horse to water, but we can't make him drink. And what that means is we have these resources for you guys to take advantage of and see these phenomenal people, but none of it matters unless you're going to do what Ronnie has done and take control of your fitness and work on this stuff before and after working out. We're not getting any younger. Can't just come in here and work out anymore and expect to see results and not get injured. So you have to take what you've learned from these people and apply it to your life when they're not around. So, Ronnie?
Can I mention one other thing?
Sure.
You mentioned Shadia. She's working with us now. The endurance program that y'all offer here, where we work on cardiovascular for 20-minute periods of time. She's doing a once a month program, and we were doing crossover drills.
Yeah.
And is part of that. And the interesting thing is that I didn't know this prior to this happening, but because of the stroke that I had years ago, the functional movements of crossing over as we move from left to right, running this drill, I literally was not able to do that.
Yeah. And
she kindly worked with me afterwards.
Yeah.
And I have a video tape of the time that she spent showing me the fundamentals.
So you taped it while you guys were working together?
Correct.
Okay, awesome.
And so I can practice that, and over time with some repetition, then short-term memory loss for me can be overcome.
Yeah.
And it becomes registered as long-term
Absolutely.
memory.
Yep.
So it just occurred to me, another benefit of what y'all do here that's so great was experienced just recently.
Yeah, there you go. Another example of just a coach doing what they do. So thanks, Ronnie. Appreciate you sitting down with us this morning, guys.